After a 206-yard rushing game last week, Panthers running back Rico Dowdle will look to have a repeat performance against the Cowboys, his former team. The Buccaneers will host the 49ers for a showdown between 4-1 teams, and the Lions visit the Chiefs' Arrowhead Stadium for the second time in 3 seasons. Let's get into the full week slate, which culminates with a Monday Night Football doubleheader between the Bills and Falcons on ESPN and the Bears at Commanders on ABC. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. Joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. We apologize for the inconvenience for not having the College Football Thursday last night. Commitments beyond our control. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the show last night, but, it is what it is. Hopefully this upcoming Thursday we'll be able to do it. But here tonight, we're going to get into week number 6 of the NFL, which started last night, actually. We had Thursday Night Football, and oh boy, I know for a fact none of us saw this coming. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles squaring off against the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, in the Meadowlands. Philly opened up as a 7.5-point favorite. Everybody thought, Philly's going to steamroll the Giants after they got embarrassed at home by Denver. No.
Or as the great Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend is right. It was the New York Giants putting away the Philadelphia Eagles by a score of 34-17. The Giants improved to 2-4 on the season. The Eagles dropped to 4-2. They started 4-0. They've lost 2 in a row now. And let's take a look at it. For the Giants, it was, of course, Jackson Dart, 17-25, 195 yards and a touchdown, no picks. Russell Wilson went 0-1. Cam Scatterboo, 19 carries, 98 yards, 3 touchdowns on the night. And Jackson Dart also had a rushing touchdown to go with 13 carries and 58 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, 6 catches, 84 yards and a touchdown. The defense recorded 3 sacks, 2 for Brian Burns and 1 for Darius Muasso. And Cordell Flott had an interception of Jalen Hurts. For the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, 24 of 33, 283 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Saquon Barkley held to only 12 carries and 58 yards. That is it. Jalen Hurts, 7 carries, 13 yards, and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 9 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. A.J. Brown finally had a solid game, 6 catches for 80 yards. Their defense recorded 2 sacks. 1 sack each for Jordan Davis and Patrick Johnson. No turnovers. So, and believe it or not, these two teams meet again in a couple weeks. They meet again in 2 weeks in Philadelphia. So they'll be playing twice in a 3-week stretch. But next week, the Philadelphia Eagles, oh boy, they got another tough game. They got to go on the road against the Minnesota Vikings, and that is not an easy game whatsoever. As for the New York Giants, they have a tough game of their own. They got to go on the road against the Denver Broncos next week. So both teams with tough games before they meet again in a couple weeks. But stunning outcome. And when we did the show the other night, when we previewed this Thursday night game, yes, Bullock, and we will also update Game 5 of the pivotal Game 5 of the American League Division Series, winner take all, the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners, where the winner will advance to meet the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League Championship Series starting on Sunday night in Toronto. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll break in with any updates if we get them accordingly. So it's tied at 2, and it's going to the top of the 9th inning at T-Mobile Park, formerly Safeco Field in Seattle. The game is on Fox. If you're looking for it, check your local Fox affiliate. And that is that. Now then, as far as Eagles-Giants is concerned, when we previewed the show on Thursday night, I predicted that the Philadelphia Eagles would win that game by a score of 34-17. I got the score right. I just didn't have the right team. It was the Giants winning 34-17. So, statement win for the Giants. Jackson Dart is for real. That young man, there's no doubt about it. Russell Wilson's not seeing the field again anytime soon. I mean, Jackson Dart is the future. And Cameron Scadaboo. If you saw the Pat McAfee show today, Adam Schefter was on the show today. And he said of him, and I quote, Cameron Scadaboo runs like a Flintstones character. And he said, I wouldn't be surprised if someday they call him Cameron Bam Bam Scadaboo. He was like Bam Bam last night. He was bamming all over everybody. So, a very impressive performance by the New York Giants. A statement win. And now Philly, they started 4-0. And now back-to-back losses in a short week, no less. So definitely, I think there might be some cause for concern now. Of course, A.J. Brown, showing some frustration. And, we'll keep an eye on that, see if anything becomes of that. But what a statement win for the New York Giants last night. Unbelievable. Very impressive. So we'll see if they can keep it going against Denver next week. That's not going to be easy because Denver's got their mojo back. Denver started slow, and they got their mojo back. So we shall see what happens. So not much more to say. MF. Eagles, Giants last night. I had the final score right. I just didn't have the correct outcome. The Giants, 17.
It's the biggest upset in the NFL this season because I think everybody thought that this was the same old Giants. I think a lot of people thought that the Giants were just gonna lay down and not on top. And on top of that, after Philly came off a shocking loss, and a lot of people were really being very harsh about that loss in the whole 9 yards. So here we are with the New York Giants. The Giants got embarrassed. Everybody was already throwing Jackson Dart under the bus, saying, well, he's no better than Russell Wilson and the whole 9 yards. And all of a sudden, it was him and Scadaboo who had a night to remember. The first major cog of the loss was Malik Neighbors after he suffered the ACL injury, ending his season. And he just absolutely Jackson Dart played his great game. There was a moment where he did get hurt, and that's when he went under the tent for the concussion protocol. And they eventually did clear him from that, and that actually was very crucial because he was able to come back into the game. He picked up right where he left off, and from there it was just domination the whole way through. A great performance by the New York Football Giants. Offensively they were winning the game. Defensively they were holding their own. Again, when you have Saquon Barkley, who I think we all can agree, one of the best running backs in the game, and you shut him out like that, you got something going. And they were calling them out. They were calling it. They were like, "Why did you not run Saquon more on the night?" And maybe that could have changed some of the outcome, not the complete outcome, but it could have changed at least the complexion of the game if you kept the run game going. But they decided to abandon the run, try to make it, try to rely on the passing of Jalen Hurts. And normally Jalen does. When he gets going, he's pretty unstoppable. And New York pretty much stymied him the whole night. They frustrated A.J. Brown. They frustrated Devontae Smith. They frustrated Dallas Goedert. There was nothing they could have done in this game. New York pressed all the right buttons. They played practically the perfect game, and they won this. This was an absolute devastating crushing defeat to Philadelphia and a statement win for the New York Football Giants, something that they really needed, something that they were really hoping for. They seized the moment, they took it out on Philadelphia, and that this could be one of those games that could cement Jackson Dart as a definitely the starter for the remainder of the season, but for Scadaboo, it may have also put him in the conversation for maybe the offensive rookie of the year in the NFL. So definitely a great night. No doubt about it in my mind. Michael Bullock, it is yours as the Giants, in the immortal words of my friend Kaiser Butler, Kaiser Viersch, the New York Giants just holiday hammed the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that coming. Well, here's a little something I'm about to tell you guys. My mom actually, she does like her weekly picks for someone she knows, and you're not gonna believe what I'm about to say, guys. She actually picked the New York Giants to win, and it happened. I mean, that was just crazy. I mean, I don't think any of us saw this coming. I mean, we thought, oh, the Giants are good. I mean, the Eagles are going to have themselves a field day with the Giants. No, that did not happen. And I think Jackson Dart, like you just said, Florio, I think he solidified himself as the starter for the rest of the season. You ain't going to see Russell Wilson again all year unless Jackson Dart really gets seriously hurt. That's the only way I see it happening. And Scadaboo, I mean, like you said, he could be the offensive rookie of the year. But yeah, the Malik Neighbors injury definitely really hurt their offense a little bit. So we'll see what that does. But this was definitely a season-defining win for the Giants. And Philadelphia is going to be like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, it doesn't get any easier. Like you said, next week they got to deal with the Vikings. And that's not going to be an easy game. So they got these extra days they need to get it right, or that Philadelphia crowd is they're not going to be happy with what they're seeing right now. So you guys better get your act together, or it's not going to go good for you guys. So with that being said, Florio, let's get on with the rest of week number 6, and tell us who is on bye this week.
Before I do that, it was a triple whammy for Philadelphia sports fans. I mean, the Eagles getting blown out by the Giants, the Phillies with their season ending against the Dodgers.
In a very,
Flyers.
very tough way.
Very tough way is right. And the Flyers lost their season opener last night because hockey season just started this week. So a triple whammy for the Yellow Delph. So anyways, week number 6 of the NFL season is here and it's now. And as Bullock noted, yes, we have buys, but we only have 2. We only have 2 teams on bye this week. They are the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll talk about them next week. First game of the week, we continued our international series. Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m., over on the NFL Network. It's our Zonk game of the week. I can confirm that. And it will be the Denver Broncos squaring off against the New York Jets, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, England. And on the call for the NFL Network, it will be Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, and Sarah Walsh. And it is the Broncos opening up as a 7.5-point favorite. Series history favors the Broncos. Regular season 22-18 with a tie. Their last meeting was last year. in New York. Denver winning an ugly game by a score of 10-9. So here we go. Without further ado, let's dive on in. Jets defensive tackle Quinnen Williams said it best. We're 0-5, and the defense has been the problem. The reason why we're 0-5. The Jets have 0 takeaways and only 3 sacks in the last 4 games. Pass rush was an emphasis in practice this week, but a breakout against the Broncos won't be easy. They have allowed only 5 sacks this season. The Broncos left for London just hours after their huge win at Philadelphia, the signature win of Coach Sean Payton's Denver tenure. Payton said he left behind any notion that playing the Jets at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is any sort of trap game for the 3-2 Broncos. Payton said each week it's the ability to refocus on the next challenge. These guys understand in our league it's different than college. We're not getting a chance to play a 1AA or FCS school. These are all professional teams, and we'll handle it that way. Broncos quarterback Bo Nix was held to only 60 passing yards in last year's 10-9 win at the Jets, the only time in his career that he has been held under 130 passing yards. Overwhelming FPI for Denver, 71% going with the Denver Broncos, and I'm going with the Denver Broncos to win this game as well. I'm going to go 30-17. The Denver Broncos defeat the New York Jets at Tottenham Hotspur. So not much more to say. MF, Denver, and the Jets, Tottenham Hotspur, Sunday morning, our Zonk game of the week.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be very interesting to say, at the very least. If you really want my honest opinion, I actually think it's gonna be the Denver Broncos winning the game as well. I think that I just feel like they're the better team going in right now. I got very high hopes on Denver. So give me Denver to win it, and Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I got to go with Denver here. I mean, I think they're going to continue their momentum off of their upset victory over the Philadelphia Eagles last week, and yeah, and the Jets are just they're the only winless team right now, and until I see something that makes me feel like maybe the Jets can do it, I gotta ride with the Broncos here. So give me Denver to win this one. So with that being said, and now we're going to extra innings in the deciding game 5, Florio. So fasten your seatbelts, Florio.
Gentlemen, would you have it any other way in a game like this?
Yeet.
Yeet on that as well.
Next game.
NMF will start it off. When the schedule came out, this could have been a potential game of the week. It really could have. But after the events of this season so far, it's anything but. It's the Los Angeles Rams squaring off against the Baltimore Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. And believe it or not, on the call for this game, the A-team, Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. And the Rams opening up as a 7.5-point favorite. Baltimore leads the regular season series 6-3. Their last meeting was a very memorable game 2 years ago in Baltimore. Ravens winning it 37-31 in overtime. 5-star classic of a game. The Rams' last win in Baltimore was 2021. 20-19 was the final there. So, OMF. When the schedule came out, this had a potential to be a potential game of the week, but Rams are doing good. Baltimore, oh God. Baltimore 1-4, and for the second week in a row, no Lamar Jackson. Oh boy, I think I'm gonna take it from you. I think it's time to push the old panic button. What says you?
Yeah, if they haven't pushed the panic button, then they're probably slamming that button right now. This is a season it's starting to get away, and you're starting to feel it in many different circles. There's a lot of angst, there's a lot of heat coming on. A lot of people did not expect this to be how it was going to play out, but it did. To me, honestly, at the end of the day, I'm totally agreed with you on this one. I do believe I just don't see it. What we saw last week when they played against Houston, it almost made me believe like this season looks like this is a loss for the Ravens. You just don't see it. You don't see the passion. You don't see the fire. When Lamar Jackson went down with that injury, when he pulled the hamstring, it really, like, you can tell it had a major effect. So now we're in this game and we're starting to think, how are they going to respond? How are they going to respond? How are they going to respond? I don't think they're gonna. I just don't see it, guys. I'm sorry, I don't. So for me, I am actually going to say that I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams to go from west to east and knock off the Baltimore Ravens, because I just don't have that much faith in the Ravens right now. And until they prove me otherwise, I'm most likely not going to be picking the Ravens for the remainder of the season, like, to be real bluntly honest. So give me the Los Angeles Rams to beat the Ravens. Michael Bullock, it is all yours, my friend.
Yeah, I'm with you, Fletch. I mean, I just lost faith in this Ravens team, and unless I see something, I just don't see them bouncing back, not only in this game, but maybe for the rest of the season. I mean, Lamar Jackson's out, and you're also forgetting some other things. Derrick Henry, he's got a case of the fumbleitis. I mean, yes, he had a big week 1, but what has he done since week 1? He's had a total of over 100 yards from weeks 2 till now. And the defense hasn't been the same. So like you said, if they haven't pushed the panic button then, they better be now. And I don't know about you guys, but here's another thing I'm going to ask you. If they lose, is the hot seat going to start getting hot for John Harbaugh?
I say yes, and you know what? I'll say this. If there's one team that I've been hearing that could be sniffing around for John Harbaugh, believe it or not, is the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are watching the Ravens very carefully right now, because if John Harbaugh gets fired, expect Miami to be the first team up to try to grab him.
Yeah, so if that happens, they're probably going to go for it and get John Harbaugh. So what about you, Florio?
Let's be realistic. When it comes to the Ravens, I know I'm going to sound like a homer here, but this is the truth. They have not been the same since they let the Buffalo game get away from
them. I can agree with that, but there could be some other things too, and it's what I said earlier. Derrick Henry, I mean, he got over 100 yards in week 1, and what has he done since then? He hasn't done a damn thing. And he's fumbled the ball many times. The pass rush hasn't been the same. So you could say that, but those other things I mentioned is contributing, and also with the Lamar Jackson injury, all those things
I was going to go with the Lamar.
What the Baltimore Ravens, why they're in this position they're in right now.
And I totally agree, because I truly believe that the Lamar Jackson injury definitely affected. Yes, you can say the Buffalo game did affect. Like, you can't sugarcoat it. You can't falsify it. The Buffalo game definitely had a factor. The Derrick Henry fumbles, the ineffective run game is definitely, you can say. And not only that, but on the defensive side of the ball, the defense is just getting carved up. Like, you saw what happened last week. Normally Houston doesn't play good against Baltimore. Anthony, you alluded to it. The record's like what, 12-3? Like, going into that was going into that game where they dominated, and the Houston Texans 2-11, and the Houston Texans The Houston Texans dominated the Baltimore Ravens. They beat them on every facet of the game. That never happens.
First
To the
ever win.
point,
I mean,
that,
yeah.
and to the point that the Ravens fans actually were booing them. That's how you know how
Yeah.
bad this is.
Yeah.
That's not a
Like,
Super
there's
Bowl.
no
Last
doubt
time I
about
checked,
it.
guys. Last time I checked, that is not a Super Bowl team.
I mean, 2 seasons ago, this team was 1 win away from the Super Bowl when they lost to
Yeah.
Kansas City.
And a heavy favorite to go
hasn't
this
been
year.
the same. I mean, they haven't even. They didn't sniff it last season, and I'm telling you right now, if they can't turn it around, I hate to say it, I think it's time for John Harbaugh to go, and it's time to rebuild. I'm sorry to say it. I mean,
And I know Ravens fans does not want to hear that.
I know.
And I know the Raven fans does not want to hear that. They do not want to hear rebuild it because think about it. The window that the Ravens had, and you alluded to it, Bullock, 2 years, because you could say they should have won the AFC Championship when they lost to Kansas City. Then, if it wasn't for that majestic, that unspeakable miscue by Andrews dropping that football in Buffalo, I mean, that would have been a tie game. Who knows? Buffalo might not come out of that with the win. You don't know. So you had that. And yeah, like we said, right out of the gate, the first mistake and the first loss. And now here they are. And, you're going to need a miracle for a turnaround, but it looks like the season's over.
I mean, they better turn it around or season will be over. And I know the fans don't want to hear rebuild, but the thing is, guys, how many more chances are you going to get with this kind of team? That's the thing. So
they're in big trouble, boys.
They're exactly. I think big trouble is the understatement. I mean, there's so many other things I could say too, but yeah, somewhere Ray Lewis right now is like, what the hell is wrong with this team? So
all the other Raven legends too.
Yeah. So yeah, and so until I see something that's going to make me feel like they're going to turn it around, I'm riding with the Rams in this one. So it is yours, Florio.
After the Rams, they got Chicago coming in. Then they got to go to Miami. Then they got to go to Minnesota. They don't see an easy game again until November 16th against Cleveland.
And by then, it may be too little too late.
They've also got the Jets. They got Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, then back to Cincinnati, New England coming in at Lambeau, and then at Pittsburgh. So, oh boy. So we shall see, guys. We shall see. But anyways, let me throw my 2 cents in here. Through 5 weeks, Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford leads the league with 1,503 passing yards and is only 50 yards away from surpassing Dan Marino for the 9th most passing yards in NFL history. Marino at 61,361. The Ravens have allowed 177 points this season, the most over a 5-game span in franchise history, according to ESPN research. Baltimore is also allowing an average of almost 263 passing yards a game, second worst mark in the NFL. Ravens running back Derrick Henry has been held to 50 rushing yards or less in 4 straight games, which matches the worst rut of his career. It is important to get Henry back on track for the Ravens, who are 10-1 when Henry produces more than 90 yards rushing. But the Rams, who have the NFL's number 10 run defense, have allowed only 1 running back to gain over 90 rushing yards this season, and that was Tennessee's Tony Pollard. Ravens center Tyler Linderbaum said, "We have the best running back in the game, so we have to find a way to be better." The Ravens were outscored by 17-plus points in each of their last 2 games. They have never lost 3 straight games by at least 3 scores in franchise history. And the Rams, unsurprisingly, are the FPI favorite. It's not overwhelming, but it is a solid number. 59% going with the Los Angeles Rams. And I am going to go with the Los Angeles Rams to win this game as well. I'm going to go 30-14. Give me the Rams, 30-14. So no question about it. The biggest disappointment of this NFL season thus far. And for a team that many experts thought had a very legitimate chance to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Certainly not looking that way right now. All right, moving on to our next matchup. We have the Dallas Cowboys squaring off against the Carolina Panthers, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. This game on Fox, and it'll be Adam Amin. He'll be sitting in for Joe Davis. He'll be working with Joe Davis's crew, Adam Amin with Greg Olson and Pam Oliver. And Dallas opening up as a 3-point favorite. And in the series history between these two favors the... I hope I went a little over. Okay. It favors Dallas 12-3 in the regular season. And the Cowboys have won 3 straight meetings, including last year in Charlotte. Dallas won it 30-13. So nothing much more to set up. So Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get you'll be starting off on this one. The Dallas Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers. Dallas with a very impressive win at the Jets last week. Carolina with a come-from-behind win against the Miami Dolphins. And Dallas and Carolina, very tricky game to call here.
Yeah, this is a very tricky game, especially after what Carolina did last week and what Dallas was able to do. So this is one I think that could go either way here. But at the end of the day, I gotta go with the I gotta go with the Dallas Cowboys here. I just think they're the better team here, and I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys. So really got nothing more to say. So it is yours, Florio.
Yeah. Panthers running back Rico Dowdle said his former team is going to have to buckle up on Sunday. It's a comment that the Cowboys are very well aware of. Although the Dallas run defense has improved, it ranks 23rd in the league and is allowing 4.4 yards a carry. Defensive tackle Kenny Clark said it's going to be a battle in the trenches for sure. Trenches going to win this game. Buckle up. That has been the mantra since Rico Dowdle said the Cowboys better be ready for a physical game after rushing for 206 yards against Miami. The same could be true for Carolina as it faces the league's #1 offense with an improving defense that still struggles to pressure the quarterback and cover tight ends. The Cowboys are the only team in the NFL this season scoring and allowing 30 points a game. They are the first team to do that through 5 games of the season since the 2021 Kansas City Chiefs. The FPI goes with Dallas, 61% going with the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. And I can't ignore those numbers. I got to go with the Dallas Cowboys to win this game as well. I like what I've seen from them as of late. I also like what I've seen from Carolina, especially last week against the Dolphins. But very tough game to call, but I'm going to give a slight edge to Dallas, but I would not at all be surprised if the Carolina Panthers were to win this game. Dallas wins. My final score is going to be 34-24. Dallas puts away a very tricky Carolina, a very scrappy, I should say, Carolina team. A team that you know firsthand, MF, you know how tricky and scrappy those Panthers can be.
Yeah, they came back from 17-0 down.
Yikes.
To win that game. Like
Yikes.
That's, that, like you said, they're scrappy enough. Rico Dowdle had a career day. I think Dallas is going to be able to neutralize them because unlike Miami, Dallas actually has a run defense. And I think that's going to be a major difference of the game. So I do believe Dallas should win this one, and there's really nothing more to add. So Anthony, it's yours.
All right. And we move on now to our next matchup. Just want to make sure I have the correct order here. Okay. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals squaring off against the Indianapolis Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. And this one will also be on Fox. And on the call for that game, it'll be Kevin Kugler alongside of Daryl Moose Johnston and Allison Williams. The spread favors Indianapolis. Indianapolis opening up as a 7-point favorite. And the series history also favors Indianapolis 9-8. Their last meeting was 2021 in Arizona. Indy won that one 22-16. Last meeting in Indy was 2017. Arizona won that one 16-13 in overtime. The Colts have not beaten the Cardinals at home since 2005, a 17-13 win at the old RCA Dome. So now let's get into Arizona and Indianapolis. As soon as I can find it on my notes here. All right. Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. has finally found a rhythm over the last 2 weeks, and it has resulted in a significant jump in explosive plays. In weeks 4 and 5 combined, both losses, Harrison was responsible for 7 explosive plays, compared with just 2 in his first 3 games. This week is another opportunity for Harrison to add to his total, as the Colts have given up 23 explosive passes this season, 12 in the last 2 games. Harrison said, it helps to catch explosives. I think both games that certainly helps, and then you kind of get a rhythm from there. This will be an interesting matchup because the Colts are number 2 in points per game at almost 33. And the Cardinals are allowing only 19 a game. Can the Colts manage to find solutions to a defense that has limited the 49ers and Seahawks in recent weeks? It will be one of the biggest tests for Colts quarterback Daniel Jones and the Colts, who have been creating weekly fireworks. Notably, the Cardinals have not allowed a 100-yard rushing performance, while Colts running back Jonathan Taylor is averaging 96 yards a game. Daniel Jones leads the NFL in QBR outside the pocket when pressured and on third down. He is second in total QBR this season at 79.6, only behind Seattle's Sam Darnold, who we'll get into in a little bit. The FPI is going with Indianapolis here, 65% going with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts to win this game as well. 28-23, give me Indianapolis to win. MF, I know, I said it, I'll keep saying it. Outside of your Miami Dolphins, I know how very high you are on this Indianapolis Colts team, and rightfully so. But Arizona, I got a bone to pick with Arizona. And Bullock knows where I'm going with this because I talked to him about this earlier during our group outing.
Okay.
Arizona. How in the bluest of blue hells, Amari DiMercato goes in. He's on it. He's well on his way to a touchdown. And then he gets cute, sticks the ball out, loses the ball, and that subsequently set them up for what I consider a big-time, epic fail against the Tennessee Titans. If you don't get cute and you get that touchdown, you're blowing them boys right out of the toaster. But he got cute.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it did lead to a very ugly incident on the sideline where Cardinal coach Jonathan Gannon literally put his hands on him.
And look, I get that the coach is upset that he fumbled it and set it up for a touchback instead of a touchdown. But you put your hands on one of your players like that, like we saw in that video.
Inexcusable.
I'm sorry. That is totally inexcusable. And
he deserved the fine that he got.
Yeah. Yeah. He's lucky he got fined. If I was running the team, I would have said, no, you're suspended for a game. You need to
Yeah.
you need to be taught a lesson here, and also not just to send a
100,000.
message, not just to send a message to him, but to the other coaches, not just on the team, but to other coaches in the NFL, that this stuff will not be tolerated.
$100,000 fine for Cardinal coach Jonathan Gannon. Hard times in Arizona, but it's pretty much
Yeah.
sunshine and rainbows in Indy MF.
Yeah, it is. No doubt about it. Let me just touch on the coaching thing that happened in Arizona first quickly. I agree. Never should have done it. Never, you never ever put your hands on the coach. Like, there's no doubt about it. That's a
You
major.
mean
That's a
on the player?
major no
No, the coach put his hands
on the
on
player.
DiMaggio.
Yeah. But that's a major no. I agree with that. I'm with you guys on that, and the whole 9 yards. I'm surprised that this player is still on the team, because to hot dog it like that, I'm shocked this guy's not cut. Because if you want to make an example out of the team, he should have been flat out released. I'm sorry. You want to be a hot dog? You want to play like that? You want to cost our team like that? Then you have no business being on our squad. I would have cut him immediately from the team after that.
Well, if not released, at least have him as a healthy scratch for
Yeah.
the next game.
Yeah. I agree with that. But, Indianapolis, look, Indy's one of those teams where, look, I saw them play Miami and they absolutely dominated them, and they've been doing it. Daniel Jones is definitely far and away one of the more hidden gems that this team has, and he, this is one of those guys that he went into a system and the system works, and hats off to Indy for taking the chance on him, even though they had some drama at the very beginning, because Anthony Richardson was their initial starter, and then they ended up going with Daniel Jones to be the guy. And well, Indy's been proven that we did the right decision, that we actually found the right quarterback for our team. So look, they had some drama early on, but they were able to overcome it. And like you said, Arizona's a mess right now. Everybody had Arizona as a favorite to win the division. Remember that, Anthony, at the very beginning, where we were predicting that maybe Arizona not only as a division champion, but we were even saying they might be a wild card team, and it has not transpired, to say the very least.
That top heavy NFC West.
Yeah. So Indy's gonna win. Nothing more to say. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, like you said. I mean, I just think this whole thing, I think, was going to be a distraction for this team, and I think India's they're gonna have a really good game here. And yeah, I'm with you. I got Indy winning this one as well. So I pretty much said what I said earlier on the whole situation. So nothing more for me to add on. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, very disturbing situation indeed. And believe it or not, if the season had ended last week, the Indianapolis Colts would be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Can you imagine that? The road to the Super Bowl in the AFC would have gone through Lucas Oil Stadium. But we still have 13 weeks left to go, guys. So long way away. So that's wild when I saw that. So anyways, moving on to our next game. You could call this the game of the week on the NFC side of the ledger, in terms of records, that is. We have the Seattle Seahawks squaring off against the Jacksonville Jaguars from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. Chris Myers, Mark Schlereth, and Christina Pink, they will have the call. And the spread favors Jacksonville, but it's only by 1. This is basically a pick'em game, guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, Wait till you hear the FPI on this game. That's all I'm going to tell you when we get to me. So, all-time series, Seattle leads it 6-3. Last meeting was 2021 in Seattle. Seattle smashed Jacksonville 31-7. Last meeting in Jacksonville was 2017. Jacksonville won that game by a score of 30-24. Seattle has only won in Jacksonville once, and that was all the way back in 2000, the year 2000, 28-21. So not much more to say. MF, in terms of records, this is the game of the week on the other side of the ledger, Seattle and Jacksonville. Seattle, oh my God, man, what a game against Tampa Bay. My kind of game. You know how much I love offense. Oh my word. And what made it even better was we had Kevin Harlan on the call. I mean, all those touchdowns. Oh, you got to love that. In a losing effort to Tampa Bay, 38-35. Meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off their biggest win in years when they upset the Kansas City Chiefs last Monday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of people were very, some people are still riding high off that win too. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, honestly, this is an interesting matchup. Jacksonville has, without a doubt, an explosive player in Travis Hunter. And he has definitely proven to be worthy of that distinction with everything going on. How is he going to translate going into that game on Sunday? We'll find out. But I will say this is going to be a very interesting matchup because Seattle's defense is a lot better than it looks, and they're a lot more stronger than it looks. And, we'll see how this plays out. But 1.5, not much of a difference here. Honestly, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. I don't know. I feel like Jacksonville at home. I think this is their game, so I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars to get yet another win here. So give me Jags to win, and Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game could go either way, but I gotta go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, they're coming off of, like you said, a major win on Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs, and what a start for Liam Cohen. Of course, shout out to Liam Cohen, Rhodey native. Of course, used to play high school football over at LaSalle. So, yeah, what a job he's done. I mean, what's with these Rhodey guys doing good? Doing successfully in the pro games. I mean, first with Joe Mazzulla, of course, with the Celtics, of course, winning a championship. Now Liam Cohen with this Jaguars team off to a 4-1 start. All right, I see ya. So, but yeah, for Seattle, I mean, a tough way to lose. I mean, they played really well. It's just that Tampa was just the better team. So, again, this is one that I could see going either way, but I'm gonna ride high with the Jags here. So, it is yours, Florio.
The Seahawks defense got lit up in week 5, largely due to its inability to get pressure on Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield, who was hit only once on 38 dropbacks. Up next is Jacksonville's Trevor Lawrence, who has been sacked only 6 times in 5 games. Seahawks coach Mike McDonald credited the Jaguars' ability to stay on schedule and avoid pure dropback situations as one factor, along with Lawrence making quick decisions. McDonald said the receivers are getting open and he's throwing the ball on time. He's throwing it accurately and they're protecting him. The Jaguars' offensive strength is their ground game, 5th in the NFL at 137 rushing yards a game, and they will face their toughest test of the season against Seattle, which has the 3rd best run defense in the league, 83 yards a game. Running back Travis Etienne Jr. described the Seahawks front as game wreckers and said they present lots of turmoil. The Jaguars likely will not have center Robert Hainsey with a hamstring, so rookie 7th-round pick Jonah Monheim will fill in, a tough task for his first start. The Jaguars have 14 takeaways this season, most in the NFL. I told you of the FPI. Remember I said this was a pick'em game? This FPI will prove it. They say Jacksonville. 50.2%. That's right, you heard it. 50.2% for Jacksonville. That's it. Literally a pick'em game. However, after what I saw on Monday night, and especially with this game being in Jacksonville, I got to go with Jacksonville. I mean, they're riding high off of that momentous win over the Kansas City Chiefs last Monday night. And it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to go with Jacksonville to win. 27-24, give me Jacksonville to keep this magical start going. I got them winning. Next up, we move over to our side of the ledger. This is, I just have to check the lineup here real quick. The one that I sent MF. Oh, yeah, this game is our number 6 game of the week. Okay. This is our number 6 game of the week on our side of the ledger. We got the Los Angeles Chargers squaring off against MF's Miami Dolphins. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, Florida. CBS has it. It'll be Andrew Catalon, Charles Davis, Jason McCourty, and A.J. Ross. And the spread favors the Chargers. Los Angeles opening up as a 4-point favorite in this one. And the series history between these two, it favors, give me a moment. Okay, it favors Miami 18-15 in the regular season. Last time they met, I know MF will never forget this game. Week 1 of 2023 at SoFi, Dolphins won a wild one, 36-34. Another Kevin Harlan special. Last meeting in Miami was in 2020. Miami won that game by a score of 29-21. The Chargers' last win in Miami. Oh boy, it's been a long time since the Chargers. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was 2019. 2019, the last time the Chargers knocked off the Dolphins 30-10. So I do believe this one goes to Bullock, I believe. Am I correct on that? Yes.
You are correct.
Okay. All right, Bullock. Los Angeles Chargers, Miami Dolphins in Miami. Chargers. I don't remember what happened. Of course, we know Miami. They let Carolina get away from them last week, of course. And as for the Los Angeles Chargers, last time we saw them, they got beaten at home by the Commanders, 27-10. So Chargers and Dolphins, number 6 game of the week. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, both teams coming off some tough losses, and something's got to give here. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I got to go with the Chargers here. I mean, I just think they're the better team, and it's right now it's hard times for Fletch's Dolphins here. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers to win this one. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. Before trading for Ravens edge rusher Odafe Oweh, the Chargers had only one player ranked in the top 125 in pressure rate. That was linebacker Tuli Tuipulotu, who is 12th. Oweh, who ranks 33rd in pressures, is set to make his debut for LA on Sunday. Coach Jim Harbaugh said he's a lot like Khalil Mack, direct rusher, but has speed, has depth, has ability to set the edge. Been a very good, productive young player in the prime of his career. Sunday marks the 4th matchup between quarterbacks Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa as NFL starters, with Tagovailoa's Dolphins leading the series 2-1. The two quarterbacks were taken with consecutive picks in 2020, But Tagovailoa said he doesn't communicate much with the other quarterbacks in his draft class. Tagovailoa said, I know everyone wants to do the comparisons with all the dudes that were in my draft class, but all you can do is be happy for the guys, where they're at in their life of football, and wish the best for them. That's all I would want to do and hope the same in return. Since Mike McDaniel took over as coach of the Dolphins in 2022, they are 3-14 against teams that entered the game with winning records. And the FPI likes the Chargers here. 60% going with the Chargers. And I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers to win this game as well. I think it might be closer than you think because Miami's still scrappy, even with the slow start. Miami's still scrappy, even without Tyreek Hill. So I'm going to go 26-24, but I'm still going with the Los Angeles Chargers to win this game. So not much more to say. MF, like I said, Chargers coming off a home loss to the Commanders, whereas your Dolphins, we talked about it earlier, they literally let one get away against Carolina last week.
Yeah, it was a Miami offense looked so good at the very beginning, and there's the glimpses of a great offense. But unfortunately, this was not the night for that was not the day for them. They fell apart, especially going towards the end, and there was really not much that we can say about it. So it was kind of one of those type of games where everything looked good, it felt good, and then it just fell apart. And then for the Chargers, that was I get it. It's the Commanders, and the Commanders are they're a lot better than what a lot of people thought that they were. And it was a shocker. So I think the Chargers should win it. They should be able to navigate through. I just feel like Miami they're not there. I think they are, this was supposed to be the easier part of the schedule for them, and they're just making life a lot of misery right now. This team just doesn't have it, and it almost feels like the Ravens situation from earlier in the night. McDaniel is on the hot seat, no doubt about it now. There was even people demanding for him to be fired after the Carolina loss. And it's only getting louder and louder and louder week in and week out. So I hate to say it, but I just don't think a turnaround is even possible that's going to save McDaniel at this point. If it keeps going, I think there's going to be an in-season move, and I think we're going to see somebody. I think not only is he going to get cut, but I also think Chris Greer could also be let go as well. I mean, so it's getting bad in Miami, and you're starting to hear a lot of rumors going around. So yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Well, the thing is, Fletch, how much more can the front office take before they finally say, all right, we gotta fire the coach, because there's only,
I mean,
you can only go so far before you can finally say enough is enough.
And the GM, Chris Greer, too.
Well, again, this should have happened at the end of the last season, but they did not. A lot of people thought that they were going to get fired then, and they did not. And then the way that the season started for Miami, it kind of felt like, oh boy,
like they should have done it,
and they have to do it. So it's almost, you almost get to a point where you start questioning the ownership. Do you really want to win? Because that's the question that I have in my mind right now for Stephen Ross. What do you care more about this team? Do you actually give a damn about the Miami Dolphins? Because that's how I'm feeling right now.
Well, not just the Dolphins, but how about your fan base, especially you, Fletch?
Well,
and Eric Carrier.
I mean, they want to see a winner, and it's almost like Stephen Ross is like, I still believe in my coach, whether you guys like it or not. But if this losing continues, he's going to have to make some tough choices.
Well, as I always say, only time will tell, gentlemen. So, well, we go from one of our teams to another. And without a doubt, this next team, of course, far and away the biggest winner of last week. No question about that. Michael Bullock's New England Patriots on the road against the New Orleans Saints from the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. On CBS, we got Spiro Ditas alongside of Adam Archuleta and Aditi Kinkabuela. They will be on the call for that one. And this is our number 7 game of the week, according to our ledger, our side of the ledger. This was originally slated to be a 4:25 kickoff for some odd reason, but they pushed it back to 1 o'clock, which I think was the smart move to do. And they swapped it with another 1 o'clock game and moved that to 4:25, and that's more worthy of that time slot, if I'm being honest. But New England and New Orleans, and New England opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. Series history favors New England 10-6. However, the Saints have won the last 2 meetings against the Patriots, including a 34-0 beatdown in Foxborough in 2023. Last meeting in New Orleans was 2017. Patriots won that one 36-20. Saints last beat the Patriots at home in 2009. That was their Super Bowl year, of course. 38-17 was the final in that one. So now it's on to the Pats and the Saints, boys. So here we go. The mental challenge of resetting after an upset road win was highlighted by wide receiver Stephon Diggs, who said, to be honest, it might be a bigger test than last week as far as having success and being able to replicate that process and do it all over again. We have to go in there with the right mindset. Among the areas the Patriots have targeted for improvement are better communication in the low red zone and the rushing attack, averaging 98 yards a game and ranking 27th in the NFL. Saints defensive end Chase Young could be on his way back after missing the first 5 games with a calf injury. Coach Kellen Moore said there's obviously optimism for Young to play on Sunday. Moore said they'll continue to see how the injury responds every day. The other injury to watch is running back Alvin Kamara, who was limited in Wednesday's practice with an ankle injury. If Kamara cannot play or is limited, expect Kendre Miller to take the majority of the load. Saints wide receiver Chris Olave's 54 targets are the second most in the NFL this season, behind only the LA Rams' Puka Nacua at 63. And the FPI goes with New England. 60% going with the New England Patriots. I'm going with the New England. I am damn sure going with the New England Patriots after what I saw last week. Absolutely. My final score, I'm going to go 27-20. New England continues this impressive stretch. So 27-20, give me New England to win. MF, we saw it last week. I mean, yes, the Saints, they finally got in the win column. They beat the Giants in the Dome last week. But no team was a bigger winner in last week than the New England Patriots. And as we saw it firsthand, going into Buffalo and literally stealing it. Biggest winner of the week by a mile.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the thing is, at the end of the day, was that offensively they played the perfect game. They were able to utilize that run attack, and they didn't really make the big mistakes. Now, there were penalties. They got to clean that up. But there was never a major moment where Buffalo was even remotely going to give New England any threat or any fit. And, New England kept it close. And they started to make those type of moves, and that was the difference of the game. That's why they won this. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I think the Patriots can win it again. But but the thing is, if Chase Young does play, if Alvin Kamara plays in this game on Sunday, that might make this a little nervy for Patriot fans, because especially Kamara. If he plays like the Alvin Kamara that we all know, and if Olave gets going, this could turn into a dogfight. This could turn into a knockdown, drag out affair where this might not be an easy dub for New England. So I got New England winning, but we're gonna have to wait and see. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
And before you start, Bullock, first things first. Congratulations on the win last week. as a man of good faith and sportsmanship, I give you all the credit in the world for your Patriots. I mean, they were far and away the better team last week. I will openly and honestly admit that. And you should be very proud of that win. But the thing is, like I told you earlier, for the Patriots, don't take the Saints lightly because they almost got Buffalo a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I know for sure Mike Vrabel is hammering it in the head of his players, knowing that yes, this was a great victory. Yes, this was the biggest win of the season. But the thing is, we got to wipe it clean. We got to focus on the Saints. We can't take this team lightly because if we do, they're going to catch us by surprise. So I think that's what they'll do. And can the offense once again do what they did last week and have success on the ground and also in the passing game? And for the first time since 2019, they've had back-to-back a receiver with the back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. So, yeah, we'll see if this momentum continues. And I'm going to go with the Patriots to win. And after this, the next two games are against teams who also have only one win. So there's a chance if they can just do their job, there's a possibility. And I'm stressing this word, possibility, that they could be 6-2 after that stretch. So we'll see. So it is yours, Florio.
Indeed. All right. And I believe we have one more early game left, guys. Yes, we do. And this came in as our number 5 game of the week on our side of the ledger. We have the Cleveland Browns squaring off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Acrisure Stadium, formerly Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. On the call for this game will be Ian Eagle, J.J. Watt, and Evan Washburn. And the spread favors... Hope I hit the wrong button. Okay. The spread favors... it's got to be Pittsburgh here. I would imagine it's got to be Pittsburgh here. Yeah, Pittsburgh opening up as a 6-point favorite. And the series history, it's one-sided. Pittsburgh leads it in the regular season 80-63 with a tie. Last year, they split, both teams winning at home, but this game's in Pittsburgh, so Pittsburgh won 27-14. The Browns last won in Pittsburgh in the AFC wildcard game in January of 2021. Cleveland stole that one, 48-37. MF and I had that. That was one hell of a game that day. And they have not won a regular season game in Pittsburgh since 2003 on a Sunday night. Right around this time in 2003 on a Sunday night. I remember that very vividly. So there isn't much more for me to say. So I believe this goes to MF to start. So MF, our final early game of the week, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, our number 5 game of the week.
Yeah, no, this is going to be an interesting game to say the very least, but I'm actually going to give it to I'm actually thinking the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win it. Offensively, they are really good. You know, Aaron Rodgers has done very well. He's done very well. Dylan Gabriel did all right in, last week. You kind of want to see a little more of the offensive attack and everything else. But at the end of the day, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do believe they should win this game. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it is yours. Michael Bullock, I should say, it is yours. I got the Steelers winning.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. I mean, I just think they're better here. So yeah, Pittsburgh wins this one. So that does it for the early slate of games. Let's move on to the
we gotta get my thoughts on this one, and then
I'm sorry, it's yours.
Which there's only 3 of, by the way. So
yeah,
we'll get to that in a moment. What we're hearing on let me say it like this. The Browns turned to rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel last week, but it was not enough to turn around an offense that has not eclipsed 17 points in 10 straight games. This week's preparation has been more consistent with the team at its practice facility in Berea, Ohio, instead of overseas in London. It should help Gabriel ahead of his second start, but it's still a daunting task in Pittsburgh, where Cleveland has not won a regular season game, like I mentioned, since 2003. Coach Kevin Stefanski said, "It's the game of football. It's the past. Doesn't really matter. What's in front is what matters." Steelers left tackle Broderick Jones is plenty aware of the task he's facing in Browns pass rusher Myles Garrett. But the Steelers might have found a key to helping Jones slow Garrett with their use of versatile lineman Spencer Anderson. A 2023 seventh-round pick, Anderson played 19 snaps against Minnesota, up from just 4 against New England a week earlier. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers was sacked just twice in those 2 games combined, an improvement from taking 7 sacks in the first 2 weeks of the season. The Browns, meanwhile, are 5th in the league with 14 sacks through 5 games. Also keep an eye on tight end Darnell Washington as an extra blocker in the Steelers' run game. The Steelers have won 8 straight games following the bye, going back to 2017, second longest active win streak in the NFL. Solid FPI for Pittsburgh, 65% going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this one as well. 27-13, give me Pittsburgh to defeat Cleveland. And with that, we move on now to our late games. There's only 3 of them this time around. We have one 405 game on Fox and 2 425 games on CBS. And we're going to start it off with the 405 game on Fox. A cross flex for them. It'll be the Tennessee Titans squaring off against the Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And it will be Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, and Megan O'Leary. They will be on the call for that one. Las Vegas opening up as a 4-point favorite. And the series history favors the Raiders. Raiders lead at 26-22 in the regular season. Their last meeting, and Tennessee's actually won the last 2 meetings in a row. Last meeting was 2022 in Nashville. Tennessee won 24-22. The last time the Raiders were the home team, they were still in Oakland. It was in 2019, and Tennessee also won that game 42-21. The Raiders have not beaten the Titans at home since 2004, a wild 40-35 game. So, not much more to say on that. So, got a little sidetracked here. Who's supposed to lead off on this one?
I am.
You. I thought it was you, Bullet. Okay.
Yeah, because Fletch let off on the last one.
Yes, he did. Okay. All right. We kick off the late games. Only 3. The lone 405 game on Fox, Tennessee and Las Vegas.
Yeah. This is gonna be something here, but I definitely see the Raiders winning this one. I mean, I just think they're better than what the Tennessee Titans bring. So give me the Vegas Raiders to win this one. So it's yours, Florio.
And let's not forget Tennessee with that gift of a win against Arizona. A game they had no business winning, but Arizona beat themselves. We all know that. So, but anyways, getting into this one, when it comes to Tennessee and Vegas, Titans coach Brian Callahan left last week's win impressed with quarterback Cam Ward's 4th quarter passing, 13 of 18 for 193 yards. Callahan said it was a big moment and step for Ward to take, but he'd like to extrapolate that success over the full course of a game. Ward should get the opportunity to stack another good day against a Raider pass defense that's allowing about 223 yards a game. That is 22nd in the league, if the Titans can slow down edge rusher Max Crosby. If the Raiders want a chance to snap their 4-game losing streak on Sunday, they will have to do a better job at capitalizing in the red zone. Vegas was 0 for 4 in the red zone against the Colts last week. The team is 31st in the league in red zone conversion rate at about 36%. And running back Ashton Gianti said, right now, I think we're probably one of the worst teams in the red zone. Everybody look in the mirror and see how we can get better. Genti leads all rookies in rushing attempts, 82, and rushing yards, 349 this season. And believe it or not, the FPI likes Vegas, 65% going with the Vegas Raiders. So I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders to win this one as well. I'm going to go 23-20. I'm going to go Vegas to beat Tennessee, but don't take Tennessee lightly after that gift win against Arizona. So, in which Zona beat themselves. So, not much more to add. MF, Tennessee and Vegas. Your thoughts?
I'm also in an agreement. I think it's the Vegas Raiders. I kind of feel like Tennessee is not there yet. Vegas, I just feel like Vegas has what it takes to win this game. Even though there has been a lot of not so great things coming out of Vegas lately. There's been a lot of rumblings coming out of Vegas as well now. But I do believe that they should be able to quell this for a week and they should get the win. So give me Vegas for the win. Anthony, back to you.
All right, guys, we got the 425 games. Both solid matchups here. We got our number 4 game of the week and our game of the week coming up right now. But we're going to start it off with our number 4 game of the week first. This came in at number 4 on our side of the ledger. The Cincinnati Bengals squaring off against the Green Bay Packers. Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins. They will have the call for that one. And believe it or not, Green Bay is opening up as a 14.5-point favorite. A 2-touchdown spread for the Green Bay Packers. And the series history is tied. It's tied 7-7. Their last meeting was 2021 in Cincinnati. Green Bay winning in overtime 25-22. Last meeting at Lambeau was 2017. Green Bay also won that one in overtime 27-24. The Bengals have not won at Lambeau since 2009, a 31-24 final. So I will start it off with this one. Welcome to Cincinnati quarterback Joe Flacco. Since getting into town on Tuesday night, Flacco has been cramming the playbook in order to face the Packers for the second time in 4 weeks. Cleveland's Week 3 win at home over Green Bay was his lone victory in 4 starts this season. And Coach Zach Taylor said that although it's at least good that Flacco has already faced the Packers this season, it will be different since crowd noise at Lambeau Field will be added to the list of challenges facing him in the offense. The Packers have struggled to get their running game going, but Josh Jacobs is not overly concerned or surprised, even though they ranked 18th in rushing yards a game at about 115 through their first 4 games. Jacobs said, for some reason, my career's just always been like that. He ranks 11th in individual rushing yards a game at about 67. It's always been like a month of football where you get used to being hit, getting used to straining and going against other good players to really understand, to get into that flow almost of what it takes and how to be better. When Flacco starts, he would be the 4th quarterback to start for 2 teams within the same division in the same season since the 1970 merger. Green Bay has the highest FPI of the week, 81%, going with the Green Bay Packers to win this game, and I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to win this game as well. 34-20, I'm going with Green Bay to defeat Cincinnati. So, not much more to say. MF, number 4 game of the week. Good one here. Cincinnati and Green Bay at Lambeau. Joe Flacco, now the man in Cincinnati after Jake Browning was not so good. And Green Bay, of course, Jordan Love and them should be a goodie here.
No, it should be a goodie. No, it's gonna be a tight. This one's gonna be interesting because a lot of the Green Bay fans were not happy to hear that Flacco's the new quarterback for them, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm with you on this one. I kind of feel like it's gonna be, I think Green Bay will figure it out. I think Green Bay should win this game, and I got the Packers winning it. So, Michael Bullock, it is yours. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Green Bay Packers here. I mean, Joe Flacco's only had a few days to learn the offense of the Bengals, so we'll see what happens. I mean, with this, but either way, I got Green Bay winning this one. So now let's move on to the other 425 matchup.
And for us, this is our game of the week. A battle of 4-1 teams we got the San Francisco 49ers squaring off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson on the call. Tampa Bay opening up as a 3-point favorite. In the series history, regular season-wise, it's very one-sided. San Francisco leads it 21-6. And the 49ers have won each of the last 4 meetings in a row, including the last one last year. Last year, they met in Tampa, and San Francisco won 23-20. The Buccaneers have not beaten the 49ers at home and overall since 2018, a 27-9 win. So not much more to say. MF, it depends on which LCS we decide to do. This could be our game. It might not be, depending on the LCS schedule, of course, but we're going to go about it like it is our game anyway, because it is the game of the week after all. So San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Raymond James Stadium. Bucky's going to have the cannons firing. We all know that. San Francisco, how this team is 4-1 despite all of their star player injuries is beyond me. But Tampa Bay, coming off of that unbelievable game against Seattle in those 1976 retro uniforms on both sides. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. This is definitely worthy of game of the week status, and
It
nothing
is.
more to say. The Phil Simms to my Jim Nantz, do that thing I like. Hello, friends.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I going into this, I was gonna say Tampa all the way, but the 49ers are just, they know when to make those moments, man. There's really not much for me to say here. So, I mean, when you got Mac Jones, and obviously we found out Brock Purdy is not playing, he will not start. It will be Mac Jones again. You just don't know. I'm gonna go Tampa to win it. But I'm gonna say I think Tampa's gonna win the game. Really nothing more to say. It's gonna be close, but Tampa should win this one. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Well, let's not forget also. I heard they're going to be with the Bucks are going to be without three of their offensive weapons. Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, and I think it's Godwin. Am I correct on that, Florio?
I'll address that momentarily in my notes here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are some offensive weapons that they're going to be without. And I don't know about you, but they always seem to find the 49ers, even with these injuries, they always seem to find a way to get the win. So I think with that and with some of the injuries to the key offensive players, I'm gonna go with the 49ers, even with Mac Jones as the starter. So because they find a way to somehow get it done. So it is yours, Florio. I got the 49ers.
This is another tricky game to call, guys. At 4-1, with each of those games decided by 5 points or fewer, the 49ers have found a way to win tight games as of late. So too have the Buccaneers, who have not played a game decided by more than 6 points and won 4 of them. It's made it difficult to tell just how good these teams are, but Sunday's matchup should offer the best glimpse yet into the trajectory of the season for both sides. 49ers linebacker Fred Warner said it's an idea that's not lost. Well, it's an idea that's not lost on Fred Warner. He said these are the moments you dream of. Best on best, an away game. They flex the game for all the reasons that we're speaking of. It's going to be a great challenge for us. Last season, the Buccaneers lost 23-20 to the Niners, unable to stop a last-minute game-winning drive for a 44-yard field goal. Now the Bucs have 4 wins by 3 points or fewer in 5 games. The interception from linebacker Levante David last week in the final minute was the play they did not have last year. Safety Tyke Smith said the biggest learning lesson I would say is us being able to put the fire out when it was time. The 49ers have 4 straight wins against the Buccaneers dating back to 2019, their longest active win streak against any opponent. The FPI, though, gives the edge to Tampa Bay, guys. 58% going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very tough to call, but I gotta give the edge to Tampa. They were without Bucky Irving and Mike Evans last week in Seattle, and they still found a way to win. And if they can win without Bucky and Mike Evans, who knows? I think they could do it again, especially being at home. So, but would I be surprised if the Niners won? No, absolutely not. Man, oh man, this game, this Tiger Mariner game, 13th inning now, friends. So we'll do our best to keep an eye on it.
Boy, this is a crazy game here. I mean,
5-star classic.
Both teams have had major opportunities to try to end it, especially with what we just saw, and that's why we're still playing.
Yep, and MF saying what he would have said if he called the game, 1-6-3 double play to end the inning. Oh man, that would have been a screaming Michael Fletcher moment if this was our series, but it's not.
I'll tell you what, if the Toronto Blue Jays right now, guys,
they're licking their chops.
I think they're going to be saying, no matter who they play, they're going to be right for the picking in Game 1 on Sunday night, because either one of these teams is only going to have 1 day of rest, and with all the guys they've been using out of the bullpen so far.
And they got to go to Skydome, where Toronto had the second best home record in all of baseball.
Oh boy,
at 54-27. So only Philadelphia had a better home record at 55-26, and they're golfing now. They've gone fishing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to continue to keep an eye on this as we go the rest of the way.
Yeah, as we're still here. So we only have a few games left. So but anyways, like I said, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game. 33-30. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Tampa, I got this feeling. So 33-30. I'm going with Tampa Bay to win, but don't be surprised if San Francisco steals this one. We got three primetime games to get into: Sunday Night Football and, of course, a Monday Night Football doubleheader. We got Sunday Night Football up next, and oh yes. If you thought for 1 minute that we were not going to cross flex this onto our side, you got another thing coming. This game is too good. Because of the records, it's only our number 3 game of the week. It would have been number 2 if a certain outcome had gone a certain way, but it is what it is. But it's our number 3 game of the week on the cross flex. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Oh boy, we got a goodie here, boys. The Detroit Lions squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Sunday Night Football, you know who's working that? Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark. Kansas City opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. And the series history favors Kansas City 9-6. However, Detroit, last meeting, week 1, Kansas City in 2023, Detroit stole one in Kansas City by a score of 21-20. Chiefs' last home win against the Lions, believe it or not, was 2003, 45-17. So they last beat the Lions in 2019, a 34-30 win at Ford Field in Detroit. So 9-6 in favor of Kansas City. So I think this goes to, I believe this goes to Bullock, right? I think it's you, Bullock, right, on this one? So
yeah, I think it is me.
Yeah. I do believe it is. So Yep, it is. It is. Okay. Yep. Michael Bullock does start this one off. Number 3 game of the week on the cross flex. We got Detroit and Kansas City. A potential 5-star shootout here on Sunday Night Football at Arrowhead. Kansas City. Oh boy. I mean, coming off of that stunning loss in Jacksonville last week. Whereas Detroit, you remember week 1, they got smacked around by Green Bay. All of a sudden, I don't remember that with how well they've been playing since that game. They're back. Are the Lions back? I think so.
Yeah, and if you're Kansas City, you could have picked the worst time to be facing them, especially after coming off of a tough loss. And let's not forget also, opening night, I think it was 2024. Am I correct?
No. I just mentioned it. It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
Detroit
Detroit
stole
went
one.
in and stunned the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. So they've shown that they can go into that environment and beat this team. So, and I believe they're going to do so again because they've been on an absolute tear like since that first game. So I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So it is yours, Florio.
Yeah. The Lions return to face the Chiefs for the first time since they marched into Arrowhead Stadium for a 21-20 season opening win in 2023. Lions coach Dan Campbell recalls that primetime experience being beneficial to building their foundation as they went toe-to-toe with the then reigning Super Bowl champions and came out on top using complementary football. He said that was big. I felt like that kind of kicked our season off. Guys really believed we could go out there and win and played their tails off. The Chiefs could once again face a close game. The offense for each team is performing well, which means the Chiefs will hope to change their trend of starting the season 0-3 in one-score games. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes said, "We're just not making winning plays in certain moments. In this league, it's going to come down to one-score games." That's what Coach Reed preaches right when we start off training camp every single year. It's about who executes at a higher level, and we have not done that as a team throughout these first 5 weeks. Including the playoffs, Jared Goff is the only quarterback whom Patrick Mahomes has started against multiple times and has not beaten. The FPI gives a slight edge to Kansas City, 55% going with Kansas City for the FPI. But based on what I have seen, I mean, yes, Kansas City did have that 2-game stretch against the Giants in Baltimore. I asked MF on this show last week if they were back. He said yes. But unfortunately, they stumbled. They stumbled last Monday night against Jacksonville. And Detroit, like I said, remember, first week, they went into Lambeau and they got ran out of Lambeau by the Packers. The Packers smashed them. But ever since that game, since week 2 against Chicago, they're playing like the Lions. They're playing like that team that was the number 1 seed in the NFC last year. And if they keep it up, they could be the number 1 seed again this year. So it's very tough to call. My gut tells me to go with Kansas City, but my heart is telling me to go with Detroit. And because of this is one of those rare times where I got to listen to my heart on this one. I'm going with the Detroit Lions to win this game. High scoring game. I'm going to say 30-23. Detroit goes into Arrowhead and stuns the Chiefs again like they did in week 1. But would I be surprised if Kansas City wins this game? Absolutely not. Because they always have that tendency to find a way. But I got to go with Detroit on this one, 30-23. So not much more to say. MF, cross flex game on our end. This is our number 3 game of the week. Could have been 2 if Kansas City had won, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, this is going to be so much fun. Detroit, like I said, smacked around in Green Bay. They've been unstoppable and unbeatable ever since they're back. We thought Kansas City was back. That is until they stumbled in Jacksonville Monday night.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, now we start wondering, is the mystique over for the Kansas City Chiefs? Detroit is starting to look like that dominant team. Kansas City, what are we going to see from them now? Now they've been playing like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde now, and now you're starting to get a little nervous if you're a Chiefs fan, because now you're thinking, oh my God, we thought we were turning it around. The AFC is turning around. Buffalo is losing, Baltimore is losing, Cincinnati is not what they used to be, and this is our moment, this is our opportunity, and all of a sudden they lose to Jacksonville in Jacksonville, and you're just like, God, that is a wasted opportunity. So I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. Detroit is definitely looking like they're back. And if they are, oh boy, that's bad news for the NFC. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm gonna go with Detroit though. I think Detroit could pull the upset. I think they're gonna beat Kansas City at Arrowhead. So we'll see how it plays out. Nothing more to say, Anthony. It's on to the Monday nighters.
Yep.
Okay, Monday nights.
Yes, the Monday night doubleheader. And our first game will be over on ESPN, kicking off at 7:15. 7:15 kickoff on ESPN. This is our number 2 game of the week on our side of the ledger. My Buffalo Bills squaring off against the Atlanta Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And on the call for this one will be Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, Katie George, and Peter Schrager. Buffalo opening up as a 4.5-point favorite. But Atlanta leads the all-time series. Not much, only 7-6. But Buffalo has won the last 2 meetings in a row. Their last meeting was 2021 in Buffalo. Buffalo won 29-15. Last meeting in Atlanta, 2017. Buffalo also won that game by a score of 23-17. Falcons' last win over Buffalo was 2013 in Toronto, at Skydome in Toronto, 34-31 in overtime. Last meeting in Atlanta was the last time Atlanta won in Atlanta against Buffalo was 2009, 31-3 smash job there. So, Buffalo looking to regroup after that stunning loss to New England last Sunday night. I'll be honest, we beat ourselves. There's no doubt about it. All those penalties, 10, 11 penalties, 3 turnovers, not going to get it done. No. Buffalo's offense has an extra day to prepare after the team's first loss, which was also the first time it failed to score 30 points this season. One objective is reducing the turnovers after committing 3 against New England last Sunday night, against the Falcon team that has only 6 takeaways on the season, which is tied for 11th most. But an important part of the offense that could be a challenge against Atlanta is the big plays. The Bills are second in the NFL with 37 explosive plays, meaning rushes of 10-plus yards and completions of 20-plus yards. But the Falcons have allowed only 14 explosive plays this season, second fewest in the NFL. Atlanta's defense has been excellent against the pass so far. It has allowed the fewest passing yards a game at 108, 46 yards a game fewer than any other team, and opposing teams have the 7th worst EPA per dropback, minus 0.09 against the Falcons, and the 6th worst completion percentage over expected, minus 3.1%. However, the Falcons have not faced a quarterback like Josh Allen, whom Falcons coach Raheem Morris referred to as a problem everywhere. Falcons running back Bijan Robinson has 5 straight games with 100 yards from the line of scrimmage dating back to last season, tied with the San Francisco 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey for the longest active streak in the NFL. The FPI gives the edge to Buffalo, 61%, going with the Buffalo Bills. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills to win this game. I think I'm going to be sweating this game out a lot more again, but I do believe Buffalo should be able to overcome the loss here. I mean, I have a lot of respect, and I like what I see from the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, they are a scrappy young team. Michael Penix Jr., Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. They're all dynamos. They really are. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I mean, this is not going to be an easy game. This is not going to be an easy game by any stretch. This is definitely a trap for Buffalo, no doubt about it. I mean, the potential for an upset is absolutely there. It really is. But you know, Buffalo wants to they want to get that bad taste, that absolutely horrible taste out of their mouth from that demoralizing loss to the Patriots last Sunday night. I think they'll do just enough. I think they'll get it done. It's going to be a high scoring game. Atlanta's going to give us major fits, but I think Buffalo will do just enough to eke it out. I'm going to go 34-31. Buffalo barely gets out of Atlanta with a win. So not much more to say. MF, Atlanta coming off a bye. Buffalo, how do they regroup after that demoralizing loss at home to New England last Sunday night?
You got to go back to basics. You got to run the football. You got to use Cook, and you got to let him cook. And then Josh Allen is just going to have to play consistent. You know, he just had moments where he looked like he was going to do it, and then there was moments where he kind of fell apart there. So it's kind of, you got to go back to basics, and then the defense has just got to wake up, because that's the thing. Defensively, you did not put any pressure on Drake May the whole night. And then you got to clean up the penalties. You know, you were making too many mistakes. You were making too many bonehead mistakes that either killed your drive or gave New England extra opportunities. You do that, you're going to be fine. So I think Buffalo will figure it out. I think they'll get the job done. I think they should win this game. It's going to be a little tricky, but I got Buffalo winning. So Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I got Buffalo winning this one as well. I mean, I think they're gonna bounce back. I just don't see them having another game like they had against the Patriots. I'm sure this is going to be a lesson for them with some of the things that cost them, but I would not be surprised if somehow Atlanta were to pull off the upset here. So give me Buffalo to bounce back. So we got one more game, Florio.
The other half of the Monday Night Football doubleheader, 8:15 kickoff over on ABC. We have the Chicago Bears squaring off against the Washington Commanders. FedEx Field, Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, Laura Rutledge. Washington opening up as a 4.5-point favorite. The series history favors the Washington Commanders 24-22 with a tie. We all remember it last season. We all remember the Hail Mary heard around the world. Jaden Daniels finding Noah Brown to win the game for the Washington Commanders. And it ended up being a tale of two seasons for both of these teams. For Washington, they rode that momentum all the way to the NFC Championship game before they got blown away by Philly. Whereas for the Chicago Bears, they got off to a solid start, but then after that game, they basically self-destructed. So there's not much more to say. MF, Monday Night Football, Chicago and Washington. Last year, we saw the Hail Mary heard around the world. What do we have in store for an encore this year?
I don't think it's going to be a Hail Mary. I think it's going to be a solid game, but Washington's just far and away better. And I would be stunned if Chicago makes this into a game. I think it's going to be a two-score affair, like a 28-14. But I got the Washington Commanders to continue their winning ways and to knock off the Chicago Bears. So nothing more to say.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Commanders here. Yeah, I just think they're the better team, and I don't think you're gonna get anything like we had last season here. So, give me the Commanders to win. So, Florio, you got the final say.
Absolutely. Lost in the chaos of Washington beating Chicago on a tipped Hail Mary pass last season was quarterback Caleb Williams leading what would have been a game-winning drive in the 2-minute drill. That's an area where Williams shines the most, and the last impression of him in the offense before the bye was him marching his team down the field in Las Vegas to take the lead back. Bears wide receiver DJ Moore said Williams lives in that world. If he could get in that world and play off schedule and 2-minute mode, it's tough. We're just playing off of him and going out there and playing backyard football with him. The pregame storyline will involve Commander quarterback Jaden Daniels, his Hail Mary pass that beat Chicago last season, but it'll be Washington's run game that can make the difference this time around. Washington leads the NFL with 156 yards a game and about 6 a carry. Meanwhile, Chicago ranks 31st in rushing yards allowed per game at 164.5 and last in average per carry at 6.1. The Commanders use a varied rush attack, but rookie Ja'Cory Cross-Skip-Merritt has started to emerge with a career-best 111 yards in Week 5. Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury said he just has to keep working to become a complete back, but since day one, when he touches the ball, he does good things with it. This is the first starting quarterback matchup in Monday Night Football history between the top two picks from the same draft class. Caleb Williams was taken number 1 by Chicago, and Jaden Daniels was taken number 2 by Washington. The FPI favors. I apologize. I just had it here. Oh, man. We're going 14, boys. We're going 14.
Oh, my gosh. We are going to the 14th inning. When will it end?
Good God almighty, this game continues. This classic. In more words of Jim Ross. FPI gives the edge to Washington, 65% going with the Washington Commanders. I'm going with the Washington Commanders to win this game. I think it could be close around the third or fourth quarter, but I think Washington eventually pulls away. I'm going to go 40-28. Washington defeats Chicago. And with that, that'll put the bow on this edition of NFL Friday. We're sorry we couldn't get to a preview of the WWE Crown Jewel pay-per-view. However, we will make that up to you. Tomorrow night, MF, what time are we talking tomorrow for our special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN, where we will recap the Crown Jewel pay-per-view and preview TNA Bound for Glory?
10:30.
Okay. So it'll be 10:30 tomorrow night. So with that being said, that will put the bow on this Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. You heard MF. We'll be back with you again tomorrow night at 10:30 over on his channel, Braves Fan 95. A special, it's not really the Cerebral Smack Talk. We're gonna call this a special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN because we're not gonna address TNA Impact and SmackDown. Is that right, MF?
That's right.
Yep. So we're going to do our recap of the WWE Crown Jewel pay-per-view, and then we will also preview TNA's biggest event of the year, Bound for Glory. And then on Tuesday night, we're back here on the Tone 25, Ridiculously Raw. We got a loaded show. We're gonna review TNA Bound for Glory. We're gonna get into Monday Night Raw. We're gonna get into NXT. Preview Thursday Night Football between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. That'll be on Tuesday. And then we have College Football Thursday, Week 8 edition. I mean, as of right now, we do have some pretty decent games for this week upcoming. I mean, Louisville against Miami, a national championship rematch from 2 years ago with Washington and Michigan. Missouri against Auburn, LSU and Vandy, Ole Miss and Georgia. I mean, Tennessee and Alabama, USC and Notre Dame. Oh, man, we got another good week of action next week. And Utah and BYU. Oh, my goodness. We got some good games coming up for the Week 8 edition of College Football Thursday. And then next week, NFL Friday, Week 7 edition, we'll recap the Steelers and the Bengals. Two more teams on bye next week. The Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills will be on bye next week. We got the Rams and the Jags at Wembley Stadium in London. That's a good game all of a sudden. We got Philly and Minnesota. You got the Giants in Denver. That just became interesting. Indianapolis and the Chargers could be our game of the week right there. We've also got Washington and Dallas. That looks like a good game. Atlanta and San Francisco, Tampa Bay and Detroit. Just some of the exciting games we're going to get into next week on NFL Friday. So that's it. So until tomorrow night, for Talking Wrestling TXN over on MF's channel, Brace Bay 95, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw the Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Saturday. And until tomorrow night for the Talking Wrestling TXN, you've been watching the Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio. So long, and bye, everybody. Bye.